Hey friends, how you doing? It's Keno Mullings here, founder and president of Institute of Entrepreneurship and Leadership, and this is your Entreminute. So every Tuesday we come live from IEL and we share 1 to 3 minutes on some quick tips that you can use as you're on your journey of becoming an entrepreneur. Remember, go to ieleadership.org for a lot of other cool quick tips and quick facts, and you can sign up next for Bootstrap Bootcamp, which is our intense 8-week entrepreneurship training course. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. So today for our Entreminute, I figured, let me share something from Bootstrap Bootcamp. And one of the sections from Bootstrap Bootcamp is how to get out of debt and live debt free. So I'm going to share with you 10 quick steps that you can use to get out of debt and get debt free. Our students have used it. Some of them have paid off cars. Actually, we had one woman pay off her house, and we're all on the road to living in zero debt. That's right, it's possible to live in zero debt. And if you have less debt, you have more capital to put into your business as you grow as an entrepreneur. So here we go, 10 steps. You ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, number one, step one is the easiest one of all. Stop getting deeper into debt. Stop doing what you do to spend more money, using the credit card or stuff like that. Yes, we know freezing the credit card in a bucket of ice will not work. Just stop getting into debt. If you can't pay for it, you can't buy cash, just don't do it. That's number one. Number two, give. You'd be surprised. Giving is a great way to get out of debt, because if you give, you will receive. The law of the harvest is always true. If you plant, you will reap, right? So if you sow, you will reap. But you only reap if you sow. You reap after you sow, and guaranteed you'll reap more than you sow. So that's tip number two. Tip number three, determine how much money you actually owe. What's your number? Look, if you pay attention to something, then it gets dealt with. If you don't even know how much money you owe, then you don't know how much money you need to earn as an entrepreneur or as an employee. If you know how much money you owe, then you can focus and say, hey, I need to save this money. You won't waste your tax return. You'll use it to hit off debt. So number three, know how much money you owe. Number four, create a workable budget. Now, I know budget is like a four-letter word, but you need a budget that works. Create a budget that cycles with your paycheck, right? Not necessarily a monthly or weekly budget. Cycle it with your paycheck. And as Dave Ramsey says, who is the best guy ever on finances, you need to spend every dime on that paycheck. And what do I mean by spending? Well, not actually spending, but whether you save it, you invest it, you're giving it, or you're spending it, every dollar of your paycheck needs to be accounted for. So that is number four, create a workable budget. Number five is set up a plan to pay off at least the minimum debt that you're owed. I know Susie Orman, I love you to death, and she'll tell you pay off the smallest interest rate first. But here's why I say pay off the smallest balance first. Even though in the long run, yes, the Susie way is the best way, but you get those quick wins, right? If you can pay off that $50, $100, $200 debt, and you bang that out, then you're on your way. But then, once you've paid off that debt, you use the money you paid on the $100 debt and you add it to the next debt. So you create the snowball effect that by the time you get to the big one, like that school debt, you're hitting it with everything you got. All right, so debt snowball is a really cool thing to use for paying off debt. Number 6 on the list is create a system to track what you're spending. If you don't track your spending, you're going to blow your budget every time. Now, there's lots of cool tools out there. There's, off the top of my head, Mint, which is free. There's Quicken. There's another really neat one called YNAB, or You Need a Budget. Really good, cool tools that you can use to track your spending. Now, here's a pro tip on how to create a budget without feeling pressured or stressed. For the next 2 paychecks or 15 days, whichever is greater, take a piece of paper, sheet of paper, stick it in your pocketbook or your wallet or whatever, and you write down every penny that you spend. Now, if you write down every penny that you spend, you'll be able to categorize and you'll be able to say, okay, this is how I spend on a monthly basis or between paychecks. And then you can figure out where you need to cut, right? This is called the penny challenge, and I hope you'll take it. So that's number 6. Number 7, where are we? Number 7 is save $1,000 for emergencies. $1,000, yes, it feels like a lot, but guess what? In Jamaica, we say every mickle make a muckle. So you just save pieces at a time, $10, $5, $100, whatever you can, but put it in an account that's not as easily accessible. You know, so whether it's a prepaid card and you put that card, you know, put it away somewhere that you never use it in case of emergencies, that's a great thing to do. And the thing is, when you tuck aside that $1,000 for emergency expenses, guess what you don't need anymore? You don't need a credit card anymore. So that's something you definitely want to do. Just take your time and you'll get there eventually. Number 8, use extra cash to pay off debt. Right? Whenever you come into some extra money, whether it's tax returns or whatever it is, you use that money to hit that debt. Look, you need to hate debt. You don't have to be in debt. A bill is not a debt. A bill becomes a debt if you don't pay your bill on time, but you don't have to be in debt. Number 9, buy cash. As much as possible, use cash or your debit card. Because guess what? If there's no money in the account, you can't spend it. Here's a good thing. When you're going grocery shopping, don't go hungry. That's 1. But 2, pull cash out and go grocery shopping. That way you won't overspend and blow your budget. So things like we call it discretionary spending, like groceries or clothes shopping or things like that. Pull cash out so you don't go over. And number 10 is like number 1, no new debt. Right? Just commit. I'm not going to get into new debt. So you say, hey, what about a house or my education? Well, there's no such thing as good debt, but if there were, those 2 things would be it. Because when you buy those things, as in buy a house or pay for education, then the thing that you paid for, got into debt for, has now appreciated, right? Your house is worth more, and you yourself. So, you know, a house and education, sure, you can go for it. But everything else, you don't need to go in debt for it. You don't even need a credit card these days to do all of those things. So, start from the top. Number 1, stop getting deeper into debt. Number 2, give. Number 3, determine how much money you actually owe. Number 4, create a workable budget. Number 5, set up a consistent plan to use a debt snowball. Number 6, track your spending against your budget. Number 7, save $1,000 for emergency expenses. Number 8, use extra cash to pay off debt. Number 9, buy cash. And number 10, no new debt. So there you have it, folks. 10 steps to get out of debt. You heard it live here at IEL. This is Keenan Mullings, your boy, Entreminute. See you next week, same place, same time. Take care.